That's better.
Hey, you've left the toilet seat up. Go back and close it, you disgusting...
All right, okay.
Thank you. You better not make me complain again.
Want to set this up yourself? Stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly how to make your Amazon Echo device call someone out when they leave the toilet seat up. To set this up, you're going to need two door sensors. I'm using a Kara Zigbee. You're going to have one by the toilet, and then the magnet is going to go on the toilet seat. When you open the seat, the state is going to change to off. When you close the seat, the state is going to change to on. The second one that you're going to need is another door sensor by the bathroom door. At the moment, the state is off. And when I open the door, the state is going to change to on. Now, before you proceed to the next part of the video, I'm assuming you've already got a Zigbee coordinator configured and you know how to pair devices. You've already got Node-RED installed and you've got the Alexa remote node configured so you can broadcast text to speech. If you haven't already done that, don't panic. I've done some videos earlier and I will include them in the description. If you have already done that, then carry on and go to the next part of the video. This is the Node-RED process flow that you're going to need for this automation to work. Now, at a glance, it looks a little bit daunting, but don't panic. There's only a small section that you actually need to configure, and the rest you can just leave as it is. I'm just going to zoom in. So the section that you're going to need to change is just this part here. So you've got these three nodes, and basically they just need to reflect the Zigbee sensors or Amazon Echo device you've got. So you just change these three nodes, save it, and you should be good to go. So I'm just going to go to the bathroom door status. So this is the entity of the bathroom door. I'm using a Zigbee door sensor and I've selected that one. So you have to find the one that you've added, and then you've got to repeat exactly the same for the toilet seat. You've just got to find that entity and click done. And for your Amazon Echo device, you may need to change this drop down menu to your Amazon account, and then you should be able to see your Echo devices which you can choose from. This part here, you shouldn't need to change it, but these Zigbee sensors are very responsive, and I found if you just left no delay, then as soon as you open a door, it's going to call you out, and it just feels a little bit too quick and unnatural. So I've added a 1.5 second delay, which I think is the sweet spot. Depending on where you've placed your Alexa, you may need to bump that up by an extra second. One other minor thing, but it's unlikely you'll need to change, but when contact is made with these sensors, the state will show as off, and when the magnet breaks contact, it will show as on. There is a chance yours might be reversed and the other way around. If that's the case, you need to change that state to on instead of off. And the same for the toilet seat, where I've made it say on, you may need to change it to off. Good chance it's actually going to be exactly the same. Now, that is literally all you need to do. All the rest of the bits you just leave as they are. You just deploy it and you can stop watching the rest of the video. That's it, end of. Just smash the like button, you're done. Now, moving on to those geeks out there who want to know a little bit more detail as to how it works, I'm going to give you that now. The first section is turning nagging on or turning nagging off. Basically all it actually does is it just disables the automation. Now you're probably thinking I could just click here, do disable, done, and then just deploy it. Well, you could do that, but the reason I've added this feature is you might want to edit it and maybe have a button on the dashboard, or perhaps use the Alexa Node-RED skill and be able to verbally say turn off nagging, and then you could enable a few more nodes to call these ones out. So it's just that extra feature you might want. The way it works is it essentially creates a variable of nagging on true, and that one's exactly the same for turning off. It's just nagging on false. And then when you click on that, it will also set the message.payload to either nagging enabled or disabled, and then it just broadcasts it to your Alexa just to confirm it's turned off or turned on. And this is more or less the same. This just gets the status of that variable. It's then got a switch here, and if it's enabled, it will tell you it's enabled. If it's disabled, it will tell you it's disabled. If it's undefined, because when you've just deployed this process flow, it's neither going to be true or false. It'll be undefined, and that will just assume it's enabled. So if it's undefined, it will also be enabled. Scrolling down here, now when I first set this process flow up, one of the problems I found is if I was just cleaning the bathroom and the door was open, and perhaps I was just cleaning the toilet, every time I open and close the toilet seat, it will say the post nag, when I don't want it to be doing that. I only want it to say the post nag when I've left the bathroom, left the seat up, and then it calls me out and I put it back down. So the way I got around that was this section here. Essentially what it does is it checks if the bathroom door is already open when you open the seat, and then it's set in this variable here, which is seat lifted when door open, and it sets it to true or false. That way when you go onto this section here, when the toilet seat is down, it's going to reference that variable and it's going to check it here, and that way it won't trigger the nag. And it also checks here, is nagging enabled, which is that option you can either make it true or false, and if it is enabled, it's then going to go to here and it's going to call the nagging responses. This one here is again if the bathroom door opens, and it's just simply checking was the toilet seat already up, and if it is, it's then going to check is nagging enabled. If it is, it's then going to trigger and it's going to nag and have a whinge at you. The last part of the process flow is how does it nag and how does it know what to say. And the way it works is you've got this part which is the you've left the toilet seat up, and that's how it runs, and you've got this part which is the post nag, and essentially it's running both of these function nodes. So if I go into this function node, now before I break down how it works, this was actually inspired by another video by a YouTuber called Creative. He actually came up with this idea, so I think it's only fair I give him the credit and a shout out for coming up with it. The way it essentially works is it uses one of each line to randomly generate a sentence. So if I go back up, you can see here line 1, it's either going to choose hey, oi, mate, did I really just witness this? Oh, for crying out loud, excuse me. It will choose one of these. Then line 2, it's going to choose one of them, then one of them, and so on, to then put a whole sentence together. It's going to be the same for the post nag, exactly the same. It's randomly choosing one of each line to put a structure together. To demonstrate the randomness in action, I've left this example section here, which is exactly the same, and I'm just going to hit the inject node. Oh, for crying out loud, you've left the toilet seat up. Go and close it, you revolting human. Now I'm going to press it again. Mate, you didn't put the toilet seat down. Go and close it, you pathetic individual. Then I'm going to press it one more time. Excuse me, you've left the toilet seat up. Go back and close it, you disgusting creature. So every time it will nag, it's never going to say the same word. And I just love that feature. It's just so cool because you're not going to get bored of it, and it makes it a little bit more human. So it's just a really cool feature, the way it just always says something different. Your Amazon Echo is now officially a toilet seat enforcer. Now no one will get away with leaving the toilet seat up. If you found that video helpful, or just enjoyed the roast, smash the like button. And if you did set this up, post in the comments and let me know how it's working for you. And don't forget to subscribe to receive more smart home automation tutorials. And I'll see you in the next one.